Hi guys and welcome to a new video. In this video we're gonna talk about a very conceptual topic, which is converting an extra pawn. This topic is very important because often we are a pawn up but are not winning the game, and especially at the beginner level, how to win a game with a single pawn is often quite misunderstood. Often when I talk to some students, I get the idea that they think that once you're a pawn up, the only way to win the game is like promoting the pawn to a queen. But this is not exactly the truth. And I will show you a very basic example, but I will hope to open your eyes for some concepts and help you understand converting an extra pawn a little bit better in this video. So let's start with some opening, which is of course not critical or anything, but I saw this many times. White won a pawn in the opening quite quickly after something like this. But after knight f6, things turned out to be harder than they must be. So what to do here? How to win the game with a pawn up? Basically, I think this position should be technically winning. White is a clean center pawn up, but often I see things happen like knight to c3, bishop to b4, and sometimes the pawn is about to be lost back after something like this, castles, and then rook e8 coming. Black is getting pressure and white is not keeping the control of anything here. So what's actually going wrong? Let's go back a bit. Let's have a look. Why is it getting complicated? The reason why it's complicated in this line, which we just saw, is white is not really stabilizing the pawn. White is developing a bit here and there, but on a higher level, he's not solidifying the pawn enough, so black can, with every move, like bishop b4, renew the threat and thus create counterplay. Even though we can always defend, black can also always attack. And that's the key problem. So the main thing to understand is that we need to stabilize the position first so that our opponent cannot really attack our extra pawn. Once we have established that, we will be able to think about the next steps. But first we need to solidify this pawn and not allow any counterplay against it. And once you understood this, you will understand that f3 is quite a natural move. Of course, we are not any longer in this phase where moving the f-pawn is a big opening mistake, because there are no queens on and there are no checks on this diagonal. So this of course doesn't apply here. Meanwhile, with this move, black can not even, if he was to move twice or thrice, renew the threat against this pawn. It's solidified. Later we will be able to remove our king from center, bring the bishops and knights out, and black is still not having counterplay. In fact, I think that his last move, knight f6, might be an inaccuracy because he does not open up the position to fight back against my king or anything and get some dynamics in return for the sacrificed pawn. So black really must seek more concrete, more open play here, because after knight f6, f3, the position is so stabilized that black is having no counter chance whatsoever. White is just a clean pawn up and can fight for a win in many different ways. We will not check a whole game here, but I will just give you 3 rough ideas how to win the game with this kind of extra pawn. The first thing is trade all pieces. This sounds maybe very hard from here, but usually white is in the comfortable situation that we can say yes to every trade, while black must avoid a pawn ending at all costs, because a pawn ending would be more or less basically winning. Thus, we will always seize the d file, because he cannot trade everything, and we will increase our activity steadily. Furthermore, another way to win with this extra pawn is we have a lot of central control, which black doesn't have. For example, let's have a look at the knights. Our knight, it can move around the center as it likes. It can stand on e5. It could also maybe create some outposts here and here. That's also all things which black doesn't have, because he doesn't have this big anchor in the center. In addition, also, it's way easier for us to just coordinate our pieces, because this pawn mass also gives us more space. Why is this? For example, let's compare the bishops. Our bishop could easily go to f4, while his bishop can never go to f5. Same with g5. We can easily go to g5, while he can never go to g4. So that's another benefit of having this extra pawn, even in his solidified version, without ever going any further yet. We can do this later, but we should not rush. I hope I could give you some insights about what this pawn is accomplishing for us, that it doesn't need to rush to go forward, and how to win in the long run. Always keep in mind the most important principle: once you're pawn up, solidify the position, stabilize your advantage, and with this in mind, I hope you will already win more games than you did previously. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, could grasp some new concepts, and if you like the video, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.